Okay. Okay. Stream should be up now. We are loading in to Elden Ring. So I was streaming this a few days ago when I first started streaming, and I came across an issue. I lost my save file, so I had to kind of start over. Don't worry, you know, there's nothing wrong with starting a new beginning. And also, welcome to Elden Ring, Journey of the Fallen Shadow. That's the name of this campaign that that this character's journey. And we are going to be the Confessor. Because it was either the Confessor or the Prophet, and I would say the Prophet's best. However, the Confessor has a very good shield that I really need. Starting off with. Okay. And I already made a color palette for this. And we are starting with the Stone Sword Key. Now, some of you who know, since this is this is one of the few characters who starts with Faith, you might know what I'm doing, which, but let's see. Fallen Shadow. I misspelled that. Fallen Shadow. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Yeah, that should be right. No, I can change it later. Let's get into this. Now, because I did stream this before, I'm going to skip the beginning part, and after the beginning tutorial, I will be skipping those in the video / stream. But mainly because I've been through them before. So sometimes after watching them too many times, after a while, as they say, it takes a toll. Get this item. Do this. And I did finally finalize the time of streaming. So I always kept getting. I was going to stream from 11 to 7 in the morning, but then I found out around the 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock mark, I get extremely tired. And instead of, I always, the last time, I ended this few streams, is either stuff wasn't going right or I got too tired. So this time around, what it is, I've cut it down to 11 to 5. And, if that doesn't work out, I'll cut it out to 4. But, trying. See if we can beat the tutorial boss. That would be a miracle. And blocked one of the attacks. I just realized I got rid of my talisman. That. Dang it. Okay. Well, we did some pretty good work. But there is something I'd like to talk about later in the stream. And I'm now streaming, instead of using the one that Twitch recommended OBS, and I'm using Streamlabs OBS now, because I'm having so many issues with OBS. Like, I don't know how many issues, man. But so far, and I'm also using a new headset. That's why my voice sounds a bit different. It might sound actually a bit better. Is I'm streaming off of with a different headset, and from when I was testing with recordings earlier, it sounded a lot better. So, and that's that. But we're gonna wait. Did I start with the right thing? Okay, yeah, I did. I recommend whenever you play this game, you come through here, because even if you've played the game a whole bunch. I'm going to turn my text down slightly because it's really loud. There's the sound effects. Let's turn that a bit. Okay. Yeah, my ears were hurting from that. But I found going through here is just actually a good way to, like, if you want some runes real fast at the start and, you know, and stuff, this is actually what you want to do, because there is a boss at the end of this, and sure, it's one of the normal enemies, but at the same time, it's basically a bunch of free runes. Let's see. Well done. Might as well add to the applause. I'm hoping later we can do some of the arena fights, because I haven't had a chance to do any of the arena fights, and that's something I want to do. Ah, dang it, messed that up. I'm playing on PC with this, trying my best to learn how to parry. But let's see. I would like to say, for those on the YouTube side, for when the stream's over and I managed to put this on YouTube, still trying to put all my past streams on YouTube, but so far it's having issues putting it up there. One of the things I was planning on doing was, I was gonna possibly, like, stream all of this. Like, I'd, like, get the whole entire stream out, and then once all the, after, beating Elden Ring and stuff, that would be it, and more episodes would be added to it, like in a playlist for y'all to watch. Dark Nexus 7 Dark Nexus 7 Games is that why I think I am on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's why I put it. Haha. Yeah, that was the other thing. Being on PC, I didn't know how the guard counter was going to work. I have played with controller, but I found it's actually slightly better to use the keyboard, but a bit confusing at the same time. That makes no sense. We're going to go run and grab some 2 items real quick before continuing on. Because I was actually trying to practice with a character I was using earlier. There's another confessor. So the original title for this was supposed to be Journey of the Fallen Knight, and at that point I was going for a different type of build, but we'll come back to this right here. I have to go grab a few items, but we'll go ahead and hit it through here. But yeah, actually I don't like the hood. Much better. Now it feels like a journey. But part of the reason I actually like the Confessor's armor, because I mainly, when I was trying to pick classes and stuff, I wasn't just going based off of the stats. Well, that was mainly what I was going off of. I was also going off of the outfits, because fashion souls. And I thought it was like, man, the Confessor's armor, especially without the hood, is really nice looking. We'll do Vare's questline later. Hopefully we can do that towards the end of the stream. But right now we're gonna get this up here, and then we're going to go see our merchant. But you might hear a lot about because whenever I say but I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say, because you lose train of thought sometimes. Everyone does. So if I say a bit too much, let me know. But let's talk to our friend here.
Tarnished. I can see, but I can also see that you're not then one. Carl.
Yeah, Kale. He was one of my favorite NPCs, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, we want the crafting kit, and we'll take the torch. That's all I need from you there. We'll rest here, getting our health back up. And we gotta go find an enemy. Because we are going back to that room. I just need 2 items real quick. But, see, I did it again. I think what I mainly like about Elden Ring, if I'm being honest, is the fact that you can just go anywhere. And sure, maybe just going anywhere will probably most likely get you killed. But some of those things, it's like half the fun, like, finding, like, I think I was, like, so far when I've played through this, I've been careful of every single chest. Because I know there's got to be at least some type of mimic. And so far there hasn't, and that's what's confused the heck out of me. Let's take him out. He's gonna jump. Dodge. Yeah, okay. Heavy attack. Heal. Attack. Heavy attack. Haha. Now usually you should probably go to the front, but I find it's better just to hit him a bunch. That way you get more damage off. And then, if you time it right, he's gonna go for the sword. Oh, usually he goes for the sword by now. Oh, no, here he is. It's always when he hits like right above half health, he switches to the sword, and you can get 2 more heavy attacks in. And that's how the trolls slay. I was actually, when coming through this, I was just straight up calling them giants until I came across the one troll boss, and it's like, they're trolls? Oops. I felt pretty bad on that one. But the shield I mainly need for like the guard counters, which, no, this is a 100 block shield. Yeah. This is also a nice like starting shield like style. Like this armor gave me Nazgul feels, for those who know Lord of the Rings. They remind me of the Nazgul a bit. But that's just the impression I got. Let's see, I'm trying to remember exactly what you do. I think you have to do a heavy attack when you hit the shield. I think that's what you do the guard counter. Dang it, stupid log. We need to come to this merchant.
What do you need?
We need the bow. We need to buy as many arrows we can get our hands on.
Well,
Mainly for the fact so we don't use up. So you know, for I don't know how many times we're gonna have to run this, but this is what. So for those who know, you use seals, and for faith casters, you know, seals are essential, and usually, you know, certain seals boost, you know, certain incantations or miracles, as I kept calling them when I first played this. But I need to stop doing that. Like I was trying to say, you know, one of the there's like a specific incantation that's one of my favorites, and it's the closest you can get to it in this game that from the first 3 Dark Souls games. For those who know, for those who are watching, you know what I'm talking about. I'll get them later because we do have to fight one of the bosses. One of my favorite things is to. That was funny. Well, you know, this seal is supposed to boost those certain incantations, and you know, I knew it was in the game because I saw someone use it against me. And it's like, holy crap, that does way more damage than I did my first time around. And so, you know, I decided, okay, I'm gonna look up for once, where is this seal? And then I find out, oh, it's in where you started, which I should have just fast traveled. Now that I think about it, but this gives me more talk. Also, look at that view. Oh, that is beautiful. And if you watch Vati he pointed out if you have the binoculars, right there, even actually without the binoculars, you can see the Giant's Forge, which is actually a really nice detail. And you know, the Storm Veil. It almost reminded me of the one part from Dark Souls 3 where, like, after you beat Vort of the Boreal Valley, You walk out and you can pretty much see most of the areas of the game, and you can see where you're going and stuff. And it's like, when you can see the areas of the game, you know you're in for something amazing. Because you know it's like, oh, any part you can like clearly see, you get to go there. It's like, oh. Let's see. Let's rest here, and I'm gonna throw my flasks over the all healing because I may, use my seal and stuff, but I only have really stealth spell and incantation. I'm just gonna call them spells because it's just trying to say, oh, sorcerers and incantations. Those are spells. I have a small healing one, which I will put on my person. Quick bow, and let's get into this. Now, the seal is located in here, but we have to go through a bunch of hoops to get to it. Like I was saying earlier, I came in with a test character to try and test this route from the start without leveling up, and I was a different class. I was the prophet, and I found since I didn't have a good shield, a lot of stuff sucked. Like trying to deal with, because I mean it was mainly when you don't have a good shield, you're mainly stuck rolling, and in an area like this, you do not want to roll. That is the number one thing you do not want to do. But yeah, for the future, I was thinking after I beat Overlord, Raising Hell, for which I'll be streaming tomorrow night. Which I did see that one of my streams was titled Dragon Ball the Breaker. I forgot to change that. That meant to be, that meant to be Overlord Raising Hell. And then I saw, oh, you're streaming Dragon Ball the Breakers, and it's like, ooh, I messed up. I felt so bad. And we're gonna wait for it to come back, because I did not know this was here. Because when I first went through here, I just ran to the bottom, which I managed to do safely somehow, and countered the boss, which I don't plan to fight right now. We're going to go here. That's so exact. Haha! This is what we need the shield counter for. Ah, okay. One imp down. I got it! Are you serious? That is a lucky drop! Like, I don't know how oh, we have a Ronnie the Rich. And, yeah, I learned that. I did look up how to get to it. So, I know about that. Okay, come on. Stuns them. We will be coming through here twice. The first time, I'm just trying to get rid of the chariot, because there's a way to get rid of it. That's mainly what I'm focusing on. The second time, I'm coming back for an item that I found out was really good. We'll go also back down that area. But, the item, I want to come back for the item here, and there's 2 grafted scions, which are the 2 tutorial bosses. Or the tutorial bosses, there's 2 of them in this room. And the moment you get halfway across the bridge, they both jump down. And it's like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So let's just do this. And when you get to this part, you think, oh, more poison water. No, this is just very dirty water that looks like poison. It's one of those few. Uh-oh. But I always like the little elevators and stuff. Like, I really love these dungeons because it doesn't feel like, Dark Souls and stuff. Like, it feels like a bit of Bloodborne and Dark Souls fused together. And I have the chat overlays enabled on my stream, so I should be able to see y'all chatting if y'all decide to chat, so y'all can watch this in full screen if y'all want to. Okay, first, the pots are, I'm trying to think what the pots are at, but first we deal with him. This is the other reason for the shield. Okay, let's wait for him to come back downstairs. No, 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 no! Dang it! Like I said, there might be a chance I might have to do this multiple times. Which, if after, like, say, like, my third or fourth attempt trying to get rid of him, because I have a feeling it will, you know, go down another time, I will actually go, leave, and then get stronger. You know, we'll continue on, we'll come back later. I might even have to come back here, like, maybe off stream to get the item I want, which I really don't want to do. I really want to show you guys how to get to this, for those who also play and have been looking for this. They probably just looked it up like I had. But, you know, I figured, you know, for those who want to get the game and they want this item for the spells that it boosts, you know, I figured I'd show you. And the reason I run down in here is because you see it goes clear down there. Ghosty. Okay, it's gonna be coming back down. And usually I would fight those guys, but you know, I figured out I can just run. You know what? I'm gonna tempt fate. I'm gonna tempt fate. I really shouldn't. Boom. I think one of the things that I don't think is in this is I don't think you can drop items for fellow players, which is kind of sad because one of my first times playing online for Dark Souls 2, I think I was playing with someone who had just beaten the game, and I don't know how they you know joined me, but they dropped me all like their heavy stuff, and then they left a message saying they had just beaten the game and they weren't gonna go to New Game Plus, so they were leaving their loot behind. So like it's like I just so happened to be the right build, so it was like, oh man, it's like I then upvoted his message, and that was the first time I put a message because I put a message putting his name and saying you will be missed. But one of my previous streams for this, before I lost my save file, I went to Stormvale Castle, and I just summoned the most best people ever. You know those people that just like to mess around and they'll help you find all the secrets for the areas, like secrets you didn't know, and then it's like, wait, you got to this? And then I think I showed them a secret that I knew about, like you could jump to one spot to this other, and it looked like for a second they did know it, but at the same time it's like, if that was their first time going that direction, it's like, oh. I'm gonna move my phone because it just vibrated. I don't want it making unnecessary noise. Yeah, and I've decided Thursday I'm going to be playing scary games. Right now, the game I have up there is like Project Playtime. That is honestly just a placeholder. I only have Chapter 1 of Dark Deception. I've been wanting to play that, so I figured we'll play some of that. Maybe we'll play some Ultimate Custom Night. You know, play games that absolutely make me scared, because I'm not good with jump scares. So, okay, let's deal with him. Honestly, if I have to backstep... Ah, there we are. Okay. Yeah, if I can just backstab bait him, that would be nice. Okay, come close, buddy. That. This is like a Dark Souls strat I think I had from one of the it's like the Black Knight strat. Heal. Okay. Now, if I remember, he is unique, and you know, unique enemies are. Okay, let's see. Time for revenge. I agree. Time for revenge. Did everyone put time for revenge? Try bow. Okay. Yeah, that's what I needed the bow for, actually, besides that one puzzle. You get 3 shots. That is it. To try and drop this on the chariot. I just hope this has long enough reach. Oh, I figured it out. Oh, okay. This is my last shot. Don't fail this. Oh, I failed! No! I'm trying to think where exactly this is actually at. Oh, I think I know. Because you're supposed to be able to knock him down and be able to go down. Okay, I'll wait for him to come back up. I can't believe I effed this up. Which direction are you gonna go? Oh no, you're not pulling that crap. You will go back down this way and I will go up there. No, no, you don't get to pull this crap. You wait while he's gone. Run up this way. Because remember, this is actually the area I came through before. Yeah, it is. Now, if I'm right, he should come back up this way. Yep, here he comes. We're risking it, we're risking it, we're risking it. And yes, since I already cleared the enemies. I already F'd this up, so I mean, there's no destroying the chariot now. But what we will do, because if I'm Mary, you just gotta keep running this direction. And I gotta watch out for that chariot. Okay, he's gonna come up here. Take him out. Thank you. This is what we're aiming for. He drops the item. Someone's throwing lightning. Okay, it's one of the shield guys. The shield guys I actually know full well how to deal with. Halberd, not so good. Shield, perfectly known. Backstab. Just like the Dark Knights. Let's do this, but mano y mano. This is what I was afraid of. Got him. The Dragon Communion Seal. That is the seal I've been looking for. Now, if I'm being honest, there's no item I don't think that will let me leave here without losing all my runes. And honestly, it's just 1,000 runes right now. And honestly, I can get that back easily from fighting the troll, so I don't care. That is the only reason I will no, I won't come back for I will come back for the item, but probably in my free time. The item is like the Ring of Favors from Dark Souls that increases health, stamina, and equipment load. it's like an item like that. So it's like it's one of those things where you kind of want it. Really, it's like one of those items you might really want, especially if you don't want to use the talisman. But okay. I cannot use it because it requires arcane. Yeah, that's the thing. Out of all the seals, it's the one of the few that scales like a lot more with arcane. And from my did like when I first played this, I think they said the arcane did not affect status effects at first, but then it's like, oh wait, never mind. In like updates, I think they fixed it to where it does do that, like it did in Dark Souls 3. Like the more luck you had, the more status effects you could build up, and that was interesting. Got the. Okay, hold on, I got a cough. Okay. Oh, gotta break these. But we're gonna go fight two bosses real quick. One boss I kind of need to wait to get a certain thing to happen first. And I will not skip like all the boss intro, like all the legacy bosses. I will not skip their intros because they're an important part of the game. And any part of the game that I think is important dialogue, I will not be skipping anything. But anything I've known before, this and that, something that everyone has to go through. I won't really. I'll probably skip that a bit. Oh, I only have 5 minutes. I don't know why I'm trying to go talk to Kale. But yeah, that story I wanted to say, that I was trying to say that there was it was something I wanted to talk to you guys about is so I always wanted to be a game developer, and I still might try to do that because I have so many ideas for games. It ain't funny. But it's one of those things where I'm not the greatest, like I have not code ever, and I know there's some like game developers who actually didn't go to college for that, and it's one of those things where I'm gonna probably take my time to do it and stuff, make sure I get it down right, and when I make my first ever game, I figured try to release it. It'll probably be like at first maybe like really cheap, like cheapest you can make the game, and put it out on a platform. And I'll try to make sure there's no bugs. And I'll try to make sure that the sucker's, for early release. But, like I was saying, I have so many, Are you trying to get... Oh, it's a boar. I think I was here. Like I was saying, I had ideas. One of the few ideas, I'll give you an example in the form of a story. It's something, it's like... So, there's always, probably fan comics and stuff. That, fan series, they take what's there and try to build with it. Well, in my own mind, like I suck at drawing. That's one of the other things. That's probably why I didn't go try to write a book, because you cannot read my handwriting. That is how bad it is. Someone's driving by. But the story I was trying to say is about Dark Souls 1. So, for those, it had to do with the, my favorite part about Dark Souls 1, especially, like, my favorite Vossy video episodes of Dark Souls 1, has gotta be about the Bed of Chaos and the Witches of Izalith. Those were always my favorite, like, enemies when I came across them. Quelaag I found was interesting, because, it's like, you face all these enemies, and then you get the Quelaag, it's like, oh? Question mark? And then, unless you didn't have the right build, like the first time I went around, I was like just putting every point in every stat. It's my first time playing Dark Souls. She kind of beat me easily the first time, and then I deleted the character, started over, was trying to just go. It's like I'm just gonna use nothing but heavy weapons. That worked, and I always built, I always get the names confused, but I think it's Quaylana is the sister that's, Far From Home, who's, right outside Swamp. You need, pyromancy, level, you need a +10 pyromancy flame to be able to see her. And, what I remember is you find her remains, and it showed that she went back home. But I kind of wrote a different story in my head, and one of the issues I have issues dreaming, and I mean issues dreaming is it's like the moment I fell asleep, I don't dream whatsoever unless like I kind of build a dream, and then if I actually end up having a dream, it's one of those things where it builds off of that and just continues going. Like I always build fantasy world, favorite anime, trying to fit your own character in. Like it's one of the reasons, like say like when it comes to like Dragon Ball, the universe is one of my favorite games because you get to make your own character and you get to go through history and you get to see different events play out a bit different, and you're trying to fix the canon, which is kind of funny. But I kind of rewrote the story in my head. So in my head canon, there is a flame and stuff. The flame did fade, and while the witch did try, it permanently faded. There was no more undead curse, so there was kind of no more undead, and the world was allowed to continue. And Firelink Shrine, was no more. Lands changed like how they would, but stuff was kind of kept the same a bit. So you still had in Orlando, but you had like 3 cities in between that. And like you said, there's no more undead curse, so there's no more undead. So the demons continue. Some of the gods are still there, still hang out or do whatever. Seath was dealt with in the canon. What happened is the flame was extinguished when during the first events of the undead curse. For the Dark Lord ending, for that, which is one of my favorite endings. You sort of like it was kind of a mix of like your character did a mix of the Lord of the Hollows / the Dark Lord ending from the first game, as in, what's left of the undead enemies that became hollows. They're still hollow, but because you extinguished the flame, you're also the Lord of Hollows. So you're kind of keeping them together, and you kind of separate them from the humans, and them, and kind of like the church that they in Dark Souls 3. I'm trying to remember what the name of the church was. New Londo, the New Londo Church, I do believe it's supposed to be, where all hollows gather for a purpose. And then hollows become a new type of thing where they, in a way, they their soul's missing and stuff. But they basically create a new soul and basically create a new themselves. But like they're now stuck between half undead and half living. So they're just now permanent undead, but it's one of those things where they build their own thing, they keep themselves. Well, how the story went for me is it's like like I said, Firelink, there's no more Firelink, and there's no more connecting that to all the ones closest. So, Izalith and all that all got moved to like a mountain in my mind. Like it got moved into a mountain, like into into the mountains, a bunch of canyons and stuff. Nito was like, I don't know where Nito went. Really, he didn't ever show up in the story of mine. Like there was no reference to him whatsoever, because I completely forget about Nito, because I don't like fighting Nito. Nito's scary. But it sounds like I'm being bad. Now that I think about it, that's probably funny. How the story went is that that all got moved. Seath's house was destroyed. Magic lived on, incantations lived on, and no one ever knew the truth. So but there's no need to go find the truth now that there's no more undead curse anymore. Like it was completely gone. The only ones that were affected were those who became hollow, and now they're trying to rebuild their own lives. Well, what happens in this story is that Quaylana, I hope I'm saying her name right, the sister who sits outside the swamp, she left the swamp. She could never go back. Kind of like how her story was going to think. She did eventually go back in Dark Souls 3 if you find the Easter egg. Because, there's a pyromancy tome there. But, what I was trying to say is, she left and she went to go travel the world. And she eventually settled down with, some person, who she told her whole entire life story to. And, you know, they were also fellow pyromancer. Pyromancer. However, there were still fire sorceries and everything. And this, because, the first demons were said to be master of fire sorceries, and that was stated to be before pyromancy. So, in my head canon, they're still a thing. And it has to go into the whole entire witch trial situation where witches are hunted down. And, pyromancy was, made by the witches, people that, from, the way of white became, like, witch hunters. So they kind of became, like, the enemies of, the witches of Isolus. But, the witches of Isolus and stuff, they expanded, like, their city got opened up. Those who were pyromancers, flocked to their wish to learn and, help create the demons to the point, like, the whole entire city was rebuilt to something that, would have been amazing to see. Like, what if, none of the demons were hostile? Instead, some of the demons could even talk to you, and you could befriend the demons and stuff like that. Like, there's, like, and, it was a city specifically for pyromancers and witches to be safe. Because, also in this headcanon, this Beta Chaos, Mother Idolus herself, she was able to get the chaos so under control because, plenty of years went by, or enough times went by, she was able to fully, not just contain it, but fully control it, to where she, how she had looks and stuff, she's able to revert back to what she looked like before she became that, and she's able to change between the two. But she cannot leave the please Ivolus or all the demons would die, so it's kind of a thing where like any of the fellow members can leave now. They can do whatever they want. And since and there's like souls are no longer needed to keep the demons alive. Like Mother Ivolus can now she has full control. She can just keep creating them. So the rest of them don't need to keep gathering souls. And she can just keep creating them herself, and you get to like demons that look like humans, some like, kind of, I'm thinking, it'd be something like, it would be something cool, like, it's like a huge like say, like, Marvel's What If, but Dark Souls. It, I need the practice with parrying. That's what I'm trying to get down, because there's a certain enemy that becomes really easy if you know how to parry. Come on, strike me. Strike me. Okay, I give up. Got a sword. Got the map. But back to what I was saying. What I found interesting was, in my story, what changed a bit is, like I said, she settled down. But she settled down in one of the worst places ever. Because, while she and, the person she settled down with, her husband, who they can just be kind of a random nobody. For yeah, actually, he could be the pyromancer that you meant in Dark Souls. That could be him. You never know. But they end up having. I'll continue the story after this cutscene because this is why I've seen that people love seeing this cutscene.
Greetings, traveller from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree.
We shall accept.
Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring. Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Okay, we're gonna level up.
Shall I turn you? Let my hand share them with me.
Okay, let's see.
Your thoughts,
We'll get back to the story in a
your
minute.
ambitions, the principles you would follow.
And one more. Okay, so back to the story. Like I said, she settled down in like a village that was halfway, like it was like the one village that was closest to Islip that she could get. But after a while, she started to heal and she started to forgive herself. And you know, she thought about multiple times going back, but decided.
Oi! You there? Could you help us out, Cully?
If I don't deal with him, he's just gonna keep talking. So, let me put this in.
What'd you go and do that for? Some you will just thank you. I was pushing. I ended.
Bye, Bach. I don't ever do you. I always forget your quest line because I can't remember what to do with you. But back to like I was saying the story. She began to forgive herself, and then she did eventually find out the truth about Islip because she met someone who passed through, who was going there because she had been there before, and didn't know of Quaylana's connection to Islip. Basically said that the place is actually now kind of like a utopia for witches and pyromancers from the Way of White, since they're now hunting down specifically they're hunting down female pyromancers and those who can use the fire sorcery because they're considered witches for obvious reasons. And she actually finds out that her family is they're not in pain like she thought the issue was when she was waiting in the poison swap by them. They're actually different in that she does feel even more regret, but she decides to accept her new life and try to move on, but she makes a vow, and this vow is going to come back into the story later. But I assume that all the witches of Islip each have a witch's ring. And I'm saying this for for the main core of the family all have witch's ring. I don't think anyone else that joins later gets a witch's ring. I think if anything they have to earn something like that, and it's handcrafted. But Quaylana still has her witch's ring, but decides to hide it. And as life continues going forward, like I said, she gets married. Someone that accepts her, that knows about her past and stuff. And when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Her and her husband, they do the whole entire thing of having a kid. And this kid, technically being in the next generation of Witch Visalis, in the story, Quaylana always went out in childbirth of it, or after a few years, like 2 years right after the child was born, she got sick and died. And I'm thinking, she knows pyromancy, she probably couldn't get sick, but it's like it was something that was like a new sickness. It would have to be like a new type of sickness that no one knew about. That something probably had to do with all the rats. Probably like the plague a bit. And that took her, but her daughter, I always pictured it was a a daughter and stuff that she would have had. Because, you know, then it's like, you know, another daughter of Izalith kind of situation. And, you know, being a direct descendant, she's, like, gifted in pyromancy and stuff. Well, 3, like, okay, so, you know, 2-1 she passes. There was a promise that was supposed to be given when she was born. When she got old enough, they were going to travel to the city of Izalith, or, you know, the city of Chaos. And she was going to basically show up, and, you know, bring her family with her, and just to, you know, kind of make amends and see what would, you know, as they say, sometimes, you know, it takes a while to heal. And, you know, maybe, you know, Izalith herself might, you know, be angered, but maybe might be just happy to have one of her daughters home after thinking, you know, they were dead. And, you know, how I was thinking how the story goes is, like, after that point, is that the promise does get fulfilled, but way later. Like, you know, the child, you know, was 2 years old. Now it's like, say, I was thinking, you know, like, usually it'd be 6 or 7, be able, you know, be able to read and write, and, like, around that age, just being able to, you know, barely do that. But, before Quinlana passed away, she bequeathed to her husband her pyromancy flame to give to their daughter. And I always pictured that was, you know, the one thing that she had, and she would always peer into the pyromancy flames with the warnings, but always peer in it just to feel closer. You know, kind of like a real sad, touching moment. But like I said, they picked one of the, like, wrong towns, because it was like one of the town, even though it was close to Izalith, was like one of the few home bases for the Way of Circle, sorry, not the Way of Circle, the Way of White in later years. And how that always went is that, you know, she just got old enough to go to, you know, Izalith, and, you know, she was, even the ring was passed down to her. Grabbing this items real quick. And, how I always pictured it going is, in the story, something would happen with the Way of White, and they would, like, capture her, and, you know, the father gets attacked and killed in the process, leaving her in chains. Yeah, and basically, they don't know, but she was able to hide the pyromancy flame somehow. I don't know if it's visibly known if they know pyromancy flame, but they immediately accuse her of being a witch because of the witch's ring, because one of the Way of White notices it. And, you know, I'm trying to think what would happen really from there, but I always pictured that there was someone who was descended, like, they'd be half living, half undead, and they were descended from the character that, from the Dark Lord / Lord of the Hollows that you played as. They were a direct descendant, like, say they would be, like, next in line, and they left for a journey. I didn't really know how to picture, you know, how they go, because, you know, it could be any, they could be any gender. Like, I figured I'd leave it up to the imagination. And what would happen is, what would always happen is, sorry, I probably said this a bit too much. What would happen is, you know, they were against the Way of White and stuff, because Way of White, while they do hunt, you know, witches and stuff now, they also still hunt the undead. Like, so skeletons, even, you know, hollows, they still hunt them. And so you kind of feel really bad for them. But what really makes it more of a tragedy is, you know, I always thought in the you know, the descendant of them would be, if it was like ever, like, you know, thinking from if you were playing as I always thought that if you were playing as the character, as the descendant, and you would always, you know, you had a choice, because you recognize the ring and you recognize where, you know where Izalith is. I'm, you know, trying to talk and stuff because I know this track too. How I always pictured it going is when, you know, she's about to get hanged, and there are people against hanging, you know, a little girl for being tried as a witch, which, you know, makes sense. But, your character manages to, or the descendant of the character you play in Dark Souls manages to save them from the thing. And I have all these pictures. They had a spirit horse like torrent, because I really thought the story up really after playing Elden Ring for the first time, or seeing the trailers with torrent, riding a horse and stuff. I thought, oh, that would be awesome in Dark Souls. And how I always pictured it happening was, I'm running up here. He managed to save her, and he runs with her it's 2 days journey with the way white right on their tails, basically with their spirit horse. Rides all the way to Islith, and the gate won't open just for anyone. They have to, pass a test. And they have demons guarding it, and the gate automatically opens if they sense the witch's ring. And she still has the witch's ring. She also has the pyromancy playing. And it's one of those things where she went from having no family and not even knowing about the promise to basically finding out her whole entire lineage, and thanks the character that I was thanks the descendant from the character from the first game, and it kind of leaves off from there. But I always thought, how could it continue? How could it be continued? And all I could think is, man, maybe I should. I was thinking about, I was thinking more of the story to myself, and I thought maybe my stream would love to listen to the story. And I don't want to say for the story. I figure I tried this I have plenty of other stories like this. I figure I'd maybe tell one every Elden Ring stream, because the ones that were inspired by Dark Souls and stuff that had to do with their universe. I always wondered what would happen. Would that be a great storyline? Or would that be just no? And I'm a bit distracted. Okay, I'll focus on the fight, but I want to know your, for those on the YouTube side, when this ends up on YouTube, what do you guys think? I also have to pause the recording and start a new one after this, because I'm trying to make sure that all the episodes are at least an hour, because I've been having issues uploading ones longer than an hour so far. I'm still having to upload one episode. I think it's because my videos are a bit too long, because it won't go past the SD check, or it hasn't gone past it yet. Trying to wait for him to do a major attack like that so I can heal. Dang it! Okay, I'm just gonna rush to him. But I literally, even if you're on the Twitch side and you like the story, I would like to hear what you guys think about it, because it's the story is basically a giant what if, but at the same time it's something that I would not mind seeing ever. I always thought maybe I like seeing games become anime and stuff, and I'm honestly not against anything like that. I was like, what if Dark Souls got a TV show, or if it could be a live action, or it could be an anime. I honestly think anime would probably be better, because they could take their time and they could get the characters right. But I don't have my shield equipped. It gives them more time to work with. They can make the characters right. They just have to get the right voice acting. But they have to build a story based off of the characters, the NPCs, and based off of all the other characters. And so I think little stories like that, they could even throw around the lore a little bit. I would like to see where they could take it up. It's one of those things where I always wanted to comment it on one about the video stream. I always wanted to, but I never got the courage to. I always want to say, is he interested in hearing what if stories? And if he was, I would like, you know, I would probably type up the story. Because I feel like with VaatiVidya's information, I think, you know, it could be very compelling. Like, because honestly, you know, he's done like a bunch of promotions with like he's been sponsored by Audible and stuff on YouTube. And I think he actually did some of the Audible stuff, which I think I haven't personally bought anyone, but I've like seen someone like say that, you know, they got Audible because they heard him, I think, reading one of the books and said that it's like amazing that he was reading one of the books. And I always thought if they ever did a series with Dark Souls, I think they could possibly do like some of the episodes they would have, you know, kind of an like it'd be like kind of like a Tales series, like Tales within the universe that could be like kind of like yeah, it could be like kind of like a what if. But I honestly think that they could, if they did a series, one of the like I think they should get, you know, some of the YouTubers and streamers into it. Specifically, I think VaatiVidya should be like, say, maybe one of the episodes they have kind of a narrator telling the tale of it for Dark Souls, and it be VaatiVidya. I would honestly love to see that. Because growing up, there was actually a movie, or it wasn't a movie, it was kind of a series. Have any of you all heard of The Storyteller? I think it was one of Jim Henson's works, I think. But it always started, the best place by the fire was kept for the storyteller. And you know, you had some pretty good stories in that. Like, there was the... there was the Luck Child, which was, he was a child that was always born lucky. There's a griffin in it. And the griffin's like, honestly, the only reason I like it is because I love the griffins. The griffin's a bit goofy, but it's like, you gotta think about it. It's like, man, the design of the griffin's awesome. A bit. And you gotta think about it from when the time it came out. And I always thought that maybe if Dark Souls did get a series of some sort, they could do like kind of a storyteller. It could be someone telling the stories of these characters that they set up for the series. Like, one could be a story about Solaire's whole entire adventure. And it could be, you know, an anime style, or it could be, you know, live action. They could try to do it live action, but I honestly don't think it should ever be live action. Because a lot of live action stuff ruins stuff. I mean, I'm just being honest about that. Like, I can't remember what, there was something that got like a live action series. Can't remember what it was, but it was awful. Like, it was nothing compared to the actual thing. And, you know, I've actually, like, I always check YouTube every day to see if VaatiVidya posted a new video. Because even just watching the shorts is nice for it, like Elden Ring. And one of my favorite, like, lore video, like, one of my favorite videos from VaatiVidya. Like, I have a video for, like, each game that's one of my favorites. The first one has got to be the Eyes Lift, you know, the sad story of it. Elden Ring, so far, it's got to be the Flame Frenzy. Because it was, like, that was, like, one of the most interesting one in the series. And I always thought, could, like, the Flame of Frenzy actually be a reference to Shura from Sekiro? My favorite Sekiro one is the ones about the valley with the ape. Mainly because he talks a lot about the snake in that one too. And I thought the giant snake was terrifying. Dark Souls 2, I think, has got to be the Sin one. Sin, the Slumbering Dragon. That was one that always made me cry a bit. And then Dark Souls 3, I think it's got to be the Angels one. The one that has to deal with the war with the angels. Which I honestly thought that was, like, really... Like, even if it was just a concept, like, that was probably tossed aside, I honestly think the angel theory was, like, pretty spot on. Because, you know, why would you have the Executioner's Knights fighting against the Lothar guys when it looks like at first that they're allies, but I don't think they are. Like I think I even found. Oh gosh, no. I think I even found that the wing knights would actually, if you got a Lothric soldier near one, they would actually start the fight. I can't remember if that was like something I found out. So I definitely think he was right about there being some sort of infighting, especially like something like that. And I will say, I honestly do believe that Aldia was a good choice for the first of the scholars of Lothric. But who also makes sense would also, I also agree that Sullivan could have been one of the first of the scholars, but that would also be a bit iffy. Because, you know, it's like, well, Pontiff Sullivan's like everywhere. It's like, are you sure that, you know, the two princes are the bad guys? Like, I know people like roasted game theory a bit for trying to make, you know, lore videos on, you know, Dark Souls. They did like 2 for Dark Souls 3. And I actually gotta say, I was actually alright with the theories. Specifically, I like the fact that, like, the question in the theories, like, who was your character? Because, you know, you somehow have a connection to the two princes. It's like, even I was wondering when I was playing, I was like, what's my connection to the bosses? Because even I thought, it's like, well, if each unkindled has a connection to the bosses, what's your connection? And then he puts together, you know, there's supposed to be 3 members of the Black Hand, but at the same time, the finding the ring does disprove that, I think? Because you could possibly, you know, you could have been part of Lothric, and you could have been the 3rd Black Hand member, but you, in the theory with the angels, it was, because the Black, Hand's ring, the reason, you could have been an undead, but then, you know, you could have also failed the Link Fire, but you could have taken out Gertrude, and then the angels took you out, and then you got the Dark Sign, became undead, and then you went to go try the Link Fire, but you failed, and then, you know, you became unkindled. Because that's how that story goes. But I always thought, it's like, there's always been something slightly suspicious about the two princes. Because even in the dialogue, it seems like they know you a bit. And it always confused me. Like, do they actually know you? Besides being the one hunting that time. Ah, I didn't get the save. Stop, I'm already... there he is. There, now he shows up. I always thought it was interesting. I mean, that's interesting. See, there's so much you can find out about the Dark Souls series, and it's like, I honestly think that if they ever did like some sort of like live action, which I hope they never do, or even just like, you know, a type of animated, like not like a cartoon, but, you know, like I said, like an anime, I honestly think that it shouldn't even, if it was a series, it might go but if it was a anime movie instead, that might work. Like, it might be kind of a sort of retelling of the games, in a way. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, the next time, like, Baka Video has a video, I honestly might just put in the comments and asking what would be his idea if From Software ever got a deal to turn Dark Souls or even Bloodborne into a movie. What would his thoughts be on that? Because, honestly, I would love to see that insight. Enough about, you know, other YouTubers, dang! That Bloodlust does not mess around. I'm trying to get the checkpoint there. That's mainly what I'm trying to do. So we can go see one of my favorite NPCs across all the games. Just saying that probably spoils who it is. But it's one of those things where you gotta really, like there's always, like, you know, there's always, like, the casting you gotta think about if they ever do live action. But with the with an anime series, you just need voice actors. You can animate the rest. And that's why I honestly think if Dark Souls ever did like a series or movie and stuff, they should probably do an anime instead of like live action. Because if they ever did live action, that could go very wrong, very badly, especially if you choose the wrong actors. And I'm trying to buy time for Yura to get here. I'm pretty sure I said his name right. But it's one of those things where, you know, no parry that time. I got it! Haha!
If it isn't Nereus, the bloody finger, the end is nigh. For you.
Heal.
Just says blood.
Yura, get over here. Thank you, Yura. And I don't think I've seen anyone use the blue phantom summoning, which I actually want to try doing that. Because I don't think anyone ever buys it. And I know there's probably some people that's like, go back to the church and, you know, get Ronnie to show up. I actually found out you don't need to talk to her to get the bell and stuff, and I always find that going to the tower without her knowing who you are is a lot more fun. But you just have to go to the two finger maidens, and they'll you can actually buy the bell and the school summon from them. It's just you have to it's like I think 1,000 runes for it, which honestly, if you're like me and you keep forgetting about the spirit summons, it's kind of alright. Get him. I always love their armor too. My throat is starting to hurt, but I will keep going through the pain because I would like to entertain you all. Someone's just writing torrent without the shirt. I honestly really hate my allergies too. And if you notice that I'm actually talking a bit too much, if you honestly think I am talking a bit too much, that might be my ADHD talking, because I've always been told that it might be because of my ADHD that I talk a bit too much. Like, you can get me, if you find an interest, something that I'm interested in, and you sit there and talk to me, I will probably talk your ear off until the point where I can almost not breathe. And I've been like, as my mom says when I start talking a bit too much, she's like, okay, go away. It's like, I always got a joke out of that though. I was like, okay, that's enough. Which, I mean, like, I think one time I was talking to him for about 5 hours straight without realizing it, and she's like, you know, you've been talking for 5 hours straight, right? I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah, but a few hobbies that I'd like, you know how, you know, I just got into food talk because I think I'm a bit hungry, but I'll get food after stream. Oh yeah, Patches, trusty Patches. What's for friends, Patches? Or should I call you Lap? Sorry, not right universe. But hold on, let me heal. Gotcha. Okay. He's doing the perfumer crap.
Wait, please.
Okay.
I surrender.
It's alright, my friend. It's alright. I won't hurt you. I like you, Patches, even though you kicked me down a hole multiple times.
Well, finally come round, have you? I knew you would.
Try to
You're
fix the
a man
camera.
of reason. True and true. Well, what do you know? You're tiny. Now, how did I get that? I took you for a demi-human or something.
Stop lying, Patches. I'll forgive and forget.
Man of reason. I'm Patches
patches. Tarnished like only for now.
That's right. He's patches the
I'll be ready to.
He's patches the Unbreakable in the third game. Patches the Spider in Bloodborne. In Demon Souls, he's patches the Hyena, and now in Elden Ring, he's patches the Untethered. His name changes a bunch. Mainly, I'm going to be doing a side, one of the quest lines to get one of my favorite armors, and so I need him alive. Well, you don't actually need him alive for the side quest. It's just I know I'm probably missing some items, but honestly, I don't care at this moment. Now we're gonna go to Akil Lake, because you know that's fun. Now I'm trying to think, should I do the Ura summon where I summon him for the boss fight, or should I just go in? Let's see, just go ahead and make this. Back at 6. I will say that after I get a few items here and there real quick, I'm probably just gonna run and grab these items here and there. And I'll come back to the dungeons later, because I really want to show off Stormvale Castle. Because I like summoning people through that and just having fun. But, let's see. I actually found out depending on where you arrive, he'll show that way, or he'll show it from that way. If you're like from here and you go straight towards it from this direction, from the statue, if you see like I think it's like right around, yeah, right above the statue, he spawns, and it's like, boom, dragon. Like, that's enough. That's enough. I find that whenever he goes into the air, especially like this, you want to lock on immediately. So you can, like, unlock on. And my own third goal is just to beat the crap out of him. You know, he does this attack. Like, I've kind of mastered, like, the flying dragons, some of them are actually pretty easy. It's just their attacks are easy to remember. Well, the dragons that are like this, not the ancient ones. I cannot fight those worth of crap. Just chewing away his health. It's actually probably better than him in the head. To, you know, stun him. But I think I mentioned this earlier. I noticed that my Overlord stream from the last time I streamed still said Dragon Ball The Breakers, and I forgot to change that. That was a big mistake on my part, and I do apologize. It was supposed to be titled Overlord Raising Hell, the Chaos and Fun Begins. You know, 'cause, you know, that's what it's all about. Overlord is chaos and fun. Like, he doesn't love playing the bad guy. Like, I absolutely love playing the bad guy in games. Like I said, I think it was like after Overlord Raising Hell, I'm thinking about playing Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, and I will probably get all endings for that. And for that, you know, probably what I just do is I'll play the final level twice. You know, Akil, I can't get to you. Akil, from your tower, come down below and drop below. Let down your golden hair. Hey, Akil, can you come down? Okay, come on, Akil, come this way. Let me get too far away so you do your ground. I know you're gonna do your flame attack. I swear, when he's flying like this, it's alright. And that's like this attack. You just have to run forward and then get a few head attacks in. I think I've seen that someone's played Elden Ring with nothing but a bow. No, wait, I was freaking out earlier because someone has played Elden Ring with nothing but their brainwave, and I'm like, no effing way is that possible. So like I say, if it is in fact possible, props to them. But I will not be pulling anything like magic like that off ever. But, you know, I wouldn't mind a theory from Game Theory to play this, or yeah, to do a theory on this, because I think the theory would have to do with all the endings, because, or you know, to theorize, or like, you know, their theory channel. I would like at least maybe one theory, if I could see it, for maybe what from hints of the game, maybe if they know what the DLC could be. But usually that's about the videos thing, but you know, there's gotta be a little bit more love for, you know, food theory, film theory, and food theory. Like, I couldn't stop watching the, it was like one of the film theories, like, was really good, that I've been watching a lot. I think it was the, I'm trying to think, which theory was it? I know one of my favorite ones was, like, the Pepscott one, which I haven't, you know, you know, yeah, how I find out about half of that stuff is from watching them. Like, I think I actually managed to show up from one of the charity live stream that they had one. I think it was like not the one they did recently. I think they did one recently. I think, but it was like the past one. You know, I'm still new to the internet, and I actually wanted to donate, but I didn't know. First off, I didn't know how to. Second, I don't think I had the money to donate. So all I could you know kind of. I think I let a friend know, who knows a lot more and stuff, that about the event, and I think they did end up donating some money to the cause. But you know, I felt bad for not being able to. But I did put in at least one message saying, "Hope the stream goes well." Like, I was getting too tired to continue watching, so I put in the thing, "Hope it goes well, and hope that y'all reach the goal." I still feel bad because I'm one of those few people that, you know, I could accidentally make a mistake, and I feel guilty about it. You know, it's just part of my person. Oh, that's right. The film theory I think I've been watching the most was the In Space and Markiplier one, and I think that was actually in Game Theory now I think about it. But you know, the theory that you are Darkiplier in In Space and Markiplier. Even though I haven't personally watched it yet, because I've been waiting for the right time. I've been busy and trying to work on stuff like this. Forgot I beat Akil. This is not where I was gonna go, but oh well. Well, actually, I need an item from here, so. Okay, that's solo. Heavy attack. Okay, let's put these stone down. I do need those. But sadly I won't be able to use that for my seal, because the seal that I actually have takes Sombering, which is the special, which I actually also came here for. But for any faith spells that like if you're using like Frenzy Fit, flame spells, you actually want to use the seal because it boosts the arcane. If you want to go for like the status effect, you want the arcane stat, because the arcane stat I think at max level goes to S. And I'm like, that goes all the way to S? So it's like if you're doing like a bleeding build and you're also faith, that's like one of the best builds to go with, is like to have that seal for any of your blood spells. Because I think they said like the best way to like kind of go for it is like 45 faith, 45 arcane to get the max value out of it for, you know, for like regular builds. And I can definitely see that. Like, I will be putting in a lot of arcane. Like, my goal is just to get the dex to, you know, 20, and that's actually all I need for the strength and dex for the weapon I want to use. Like later on, because it's the amount of gems. I'm talking about the River of Blood. But I'll be putting in vigor, mind, and endurance. But besides that, it's mainly going to faith and arcane. For, you know, for reasons. Now I'm trying to remember. Okay, dog number 1. Down dog. Come on, Dougie. I've taken down the evil dog. I've also been like watching Gamer Salt, explain like endings to some stuff. Like one was like it's like Good Boy, which it was kind of creeping me out, where the toy box was evil. And it's like evil toy box. Who's ever heard of an evil toy box? And it's like I can think of plenty of movies that I think about that has an evil toy box in it. But I think I was saying in the first video for when the YouTube video comes out, I want y'all to list in the comment what was your favorite movie growing up, or it was like the first movie you could remember growing up. The first movie I remember when growing up was like a Godzilla movie. I think it was like Godzilla Millennium now that I think about it, like or Godzilla, 2000. That was like the first movie I remember ever watching. When I could first remember like movies and stuff, that was like the first movie I remember ever watching. Like that I remember watching. But then I was telling my mom this. She's like, "That isn't the first movie you've watched when you were little." It's like, what was the first one? She said that the one that my all-time favorite was The Nightmare Before Christmas. And it's like, I could believe that. Because, yeah, it's mainly, like, all the songs in it where, like, they're good, like, Nightmare Before Christmas is, like, a really good thing. Yeah, I always wanted a sequel to that, too, when growing up. It's like, I was like, why is there a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas? Like, I think I even discussed, like, I don't know if I discussed it, but I think, like, I think I meant to say it, but my favorite world out of Kingdom Hearts was always Halloween Town, because especially in the like final mix of the second game, that was the all-time favorite for me because when you went from Halloween Town and the moment you went to Christmas Town, you got to have a Christmas outfit. I'm just running past these guys at the point. Okay, let's jump here. Okay, let's jump here. Oh, that was a dodge. Okay, that's a gold run. There's the sombering. That's gonna need for the first seal. I must break the seal by awakening it with smithing stones. And the good thing about urgent heal, I can use 2 here. And if I remember, it's just another. It's the stone digger troll that I realized. Oh, these are trolls, not giants. I was always calling these. Like, it's like, I always saw, like, the golems in the I think I saw one of the golems in the trailer. It's like, so it's okay, let's fight the first mini-giant. I called them mini-giants. I was like, I felt bad afterwards. Okay. We do this on this because he's a boss. Back away, back away. Okay, run in. Heavy attack! Or jump attack. Hit! Jump attack. Jump attack. Jump attack! Jump to win! Okay. Yeah, you want the Roar Medallion. That's what I mainly came here for. We'll put these runes in and stuff. There's actually a sword I need to go find. Because I was mainly going to use it. While, it might actually, hold on, let me check the time real quick. I think it's been over an hour, so I'm gonna stop the recording real quick and then start it back up. So give me a second.